What's good, y'all? It's Recluse Sports, and everybody remembers 2019 when it was supposed to be the new NBA era of duos, and we got some pretty great duos in that time frame. Some of them currently not together, some of them still together. You know, they're doing their thing, and it was supposed to be the end of their super team era, which new things going on in the NBA world is looking like they're gonna make a return. But if we go over some of those NBA duos, we got Embiid and Harden, who have been playing great this season. You can't really complain if you're a Sixers fans. You know, they've Harden in particular had some injuries at the start of the season, but then you go on to Boston with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, who obviously they just went to the finals and currently the favorites to win the title because they have been playing great this whole season. You know, they come back down to earth a little bit. They look a little bit beatable. And then you also have the Lakers with LeBron and AD, with the past 2 years being extremely forgettable, and some people just want to forget about it. But they won a chip, you know. So you take what you can get. So they're still one of the top duos in my opinion, because when they're healthy, you know. But then you go on to Sacramento, where they have De'Aaron Fox and Domantas Sabonis, and they have two All-Stars. They're both the All-Stars, and they've been playing great. If you watch any of the Kings games, they're extremely fun to watch, and De'Aaron Fox has been killing it. I know people had questions of Sacramento choosing him over Tyrese, but you know, it seems like it's working out, and that trade for Sabonis has been paying off. Obviously, we got to wait to see what happens in the playoffs, but they've been playing great. But then you also have Kawhi and Paul George, which, just like LeBron and AD when healthy, they're solid, but they need to get more criticism because AD plays more than them, and AD is street clothes. So Kawhi and Paul George, yes, they're a great duo, but last time, you know, they were both healthy, they were getting bounced out on a comeback. So that, you know, they're solid, but there's it is what it is. Then you have Zion and Brandon Ingram, who haven't really played much together, but Pelicans were on a great run early in the season, and Zion had them winning a lot of games. And just when Brandon was about to come, Zion got injured. So, you know, I wanted to include them because they're pretty good. Well, the Pelicans are pretty good. It just sucks that we're not able to see how really good they can be. But now the reason I made this video, and the best NBA duo is Kyrie and Luka. Personally, I disagree, but that's been the talk going around in the NBA talk shows. Everybody is wondering, can they make that push? Can they win that chip? And I just want to talk about their first two games together, which both ended in losses, but, you know, you had different opinions at the end of each. So first we're going to go with the Kings. Like I said, they've been playing great this season. It was a tough game. So it was a really fun game, I mean. The first game together, Kyrie had 28 points and Luka had 27. The game went into overtime. Josh Green is the one that stepped up for the Mavs, and he finished with 23 points. He was getting whatever he wanted. Kyrie does that thing where he doesn't really score that much throughout the first half of the game, and then in the fourth quarter is when he wants to show up, which I personally hate because I want to see him just light it up the whole entire game. He's my favorite player, so I hate that about him, but that's why he's called the King of the Fourth currently, because he is a killer. Then you go to the Kings. They had De'Aaron with 36 points, who was just getting whatever he wanted. He was killing it. Terrence Davis showed up for the Kings. He was also just getting whatever he wanted. Sabonis, you know, is going to do Sabonis things, double and all that stuff. He had 22 points. But De'Aaron was going toe-to-toe with Kyrie in the fourth. They were just going back and forth, trading buckets, and it was really fun to watch. But then you go into overtime, where Luka took a shot with 19 seconds left, because they were down, I think, 4 or something. So he took a quick shot, but realistically, Kyrie got them there, so he should have taken that shot, in my opinion, given how great he was playing. But basically what I'm saying is the defense is the problem. The offense was flowing. Everybody was getting open looks because Kyrie and Luka got so much attention. Now the Mavs look solid when Luka sits out. They don't look lost. So basically, that whole offense it was rolling. It was a tough loss, even like I said. Probably ill-advised shot from Luka, but then again, it's Luka, so he could take whatever shot he wants. So tough loss, but it was all smiles after the game because they're like, okay, first game together. It is what it is. We lost, but we looked great. We fought, and it came down pretty close, But then we go on to the Timberwolves, and that game I almost turned it off. They were down by 20 for, it feels like 2 quarters, and it was just, I was going to turn it off. But I was like, you know what? Please, can they do something? Because Kyrie had 36 points, right? 26 of those points came in the fourth quarter, bro. He had 10 points in 3 quarters. It was rough. They were down, like I said, 20 points for most of the game. Luka had 33. And then in this game in particular, Christian Wood showed up and he had 24 points. So it seems like the third guy is always going to be between Christian Woods and Josh Green because they've both been playing solid. So, and now that Kyrie and Luka are getting a lot more attention, I expect them to be playing a lot better. But nonetheless, Kyrie had 26 points. Once again, to my point, I hate that he doesn't play offensively for like 3 quarters and he just shows up in the fourth. It's really annoying because he's such a great player that you just want to see it throughout the whole thing and not just in 12-minute spurts, So he had 26 points in that fourth quarter, brought the brought back the Dallas Mavericks. Well, I keep saying the Timberwolves. They're facing the Timberwolves, but this is the part that I'm like, bro, come on, what are y'all doing? Rudy had 21 points and 14 boards, shooting 100% from the field. He was just getting whatever he wanted. He looked like prime Shaq, bro. I was like, there's no way y'all are letting Rudy Gobert do this to y'all. But then again, they don't have nobody to stop them. I know people were saying, oh, once excuse me, once Dallas gets Dwight Powell back, he'll be their defensive anchor because the defense suffered when he got injured and they were apparently okay when Dwight was there. And that did not matter at all because, like I said, Rudy was like prime Shaq. And then you also have Anthony Edwards, who he looked like prime Michael Jordan. He was shooting whatever he wanted and it was going in. He finished with 32 points. So that's why they were down by 20 points because you had Rudy Gobert playing like prime Shaq and Anthony Edwards. You just got to tip your cap off. He's an all-star. I know one video ago I said he shouldn't be an all-star. I meant he shouldn't be an all-star before De'Aaron Fox, in my opinion. But since, people keep getting injured, he's an all-star. So congratulations to him. Well-deserved. And then Jaden McDaniels had 19 points. And then Kyle Anderson in particular, I always laugh because when I see him play the Mavs, he guards Luka, and Kyle Anderson is so slow that he could lock up Luka because Luka plays at that herky-jerky slow pace, and that's why defenders can't really know what he's gonna do. But Kyle Anderson is so slow that he just stuck with Luka. So that was funny. I think Kyle Anderson got like 2-3 stops on him in the fourth quarter. So Kyle Anderson played a pretty huge part in that win, in my opinion. So basically, the defense, once again, it's a problem. And then the shots weren't falling, which is why they were down by 20 points. Of course, they came back, but they still lost because at the end, the Mavs don't even get up a shot. Luka and Kyrie are playing hot potato. Luka said maybe I should have gave Kyrie the shot last time. So, Kyrie had 26 points. He was going crazy in the fourth. So Luka was trying to get him to shoot the ball. You're cooking right now. So they basically both get clamped. And then Kyrie tries to get a quick 2, even though the clock is running out and they're down by like 4 or 5 or something. So it was just a bad play and it became a turnover. So they were basically trying to make up for what happened against the Kings. They were like, all right, let's not repeat this. But it ended up both of them not getting a shot. So they lose again. And I feel like that is going to be a lot of the story when it comes to them because their offense has been great. Like you can't really complain, but when the shots aren't falling, they can't stop nobody. So it just looks rough to watch. I almost stopped the game. I almost stopped watching the game, like I said. So can they win the chip? And my answer is no, because in the West you have hold up. You got Denver, which, if they get matched up, I don't know who really takes that, but I think Denver might get that. Then you have the Clippers, where I think they could beat them because Luka has taken them to Game 7 by himself. So now having Kyrie to actually help Luka, I think they could win that. But then after that, it's just like I don't know if they could win a chip realistically, because the West, I think they could beat Sacramento, because that's going to be their first playoff experience in a long time. So, experience. And then if the Warriors ever flip the switch, they might. I don't even think it would be a question. I think they'll beat Dallas pretty easily. And then if LeBron and AD make a push, I think they win that. So, but winning the chip, they have to go through the East. And I believe that they will not beat Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, because Tatum and Brown and the Celtics in general, they can lock you up, and then they could still score, because it's Boston, man. They just play great. Let's say they face Philly, I think they still lose, in my opinion. Like it just seems like no matter what, they're not going to beat the Celtics, which is all that matters, because they're the favorites. And realistically, even if they go against the Bucks, I think they'd lose, because the Bucks can actually stop people, and defense wins championships. So I don't think they're their title favorites in any imagination. They're just there. They're gonna play better than before, because Luka is Luka. He's one of the greatest currently. So can they win the chip? No. Are they one of the best duos? I don't think they're the number one at all. Maybe 3 or 4. The only reason I say 3 or 4 is because you just got to give LeBron and AD the credit for winning the chip to begin with. All these other duos haven't really accomplished anything except Tatum and Brown. Except they didn't win the championship. They're just solid. So currently, I think the best duos in the NBA, Tatum and Jaylen Brown, without a question. So I just wanted to give my thoughts on that, because I know people think Dallas are gonna win, and I just don't see it. I don't see that. I know it's a small sample size, but they can't stop nobody, and defense wins championships. So that's it for today, guys. If you like the content, subscribe. I'll be dropping more videos. It's All-Star Weekend, so it's not much to talk about, but I'll be back soon. So if you like the content, subscribe, and I'm out. Peace.